1947, somewhere out in the woodlands of Axis territory, Heinrich Gross and the Axis powers have finally completed their new rift harnessing machine. With this generator able to capture and harness the power of the rift, the Axis are looking to become unstoppable in this ever-growing and evolving war. Will the US be able to stop Heinrich Gross and his goons before he unleashes the rift energy upon the world? Find out today in this week's battle report of Konflikt 47.
Hey, how's it going? Mike from Mike Rolls Dice, and welcome back for another battle report of Konflikt 47. Today, my buddy Rev is playing his Axis, and I'll be playing my US forces. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to all of our YouTube members and everyone who watches the channel here. Thank you so much. The support means a lot, and we couldn't do without you folks. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go over the army list, starting off with my US forces. So starting off, we have 1,500 points of my US Army here, starting off with the 1st Assault Platoon. And I have a platoon commander, a Firefly officer here. He's equipped with 1 extra point of Guts, as well as having an ATRD.
Alright boys, you ready? You know what to do. Let's clean up these Axis scum.
Next up, we have Roberta Wells, the Scientific Advisor version, and she has the ability where she can change an enemy's rift die. Then we have a 6-man squad of Firefly Airborne here. They're equipped with the Thompson MX-1 and MX-2 variants. Then we have another squad of Fireflies, again equipped with the Thompsons. Just like the other one, they have the ability to get out of hell, move after shooting, for instance.
Make sure you boys do your gear check. I want you tip-top shape.
Then we have a 12-man regular rifle squad just to try and capture some points. So next up, we have an Armored Walker platoon here. And starting off, we have a M8A1 Grizzly Medium Assault Walker. Now, while filming, I may have thought that I had a Kodiak, and then realized I had a Grizzly when we went to play, but so just ignore that on the screen. The Grizzly has 2 arms, 2 legs, and is equipped with a medium anti-tank cannon, as well as a pintle-mounted HMG. Then we have 2 M5A5 Jackal Light Jump Walkers, and they're equipped with the machine gun on 1 arm, and they have the flamethrower upgrades.
Jackal Walkers, ready for your order, Commander.
Then we have a M4A9 T Sherman medium tank here, but with the downgrade, taking away the Tesla, going back to the medium anti-tank gun. Last but not least, I'm finally taking Rev's recommendation and playing a 6-man squad of Paragons. They're equipped with 2 heavy Tesla rifles, and they all have close combat weapons. Alright, that's my US forces. Now moving on to Rev's list that he's playing today. Coming in at around 1,500 points, Rev's Axis Army here. Starting off with his platoon commander officer. This is Vanessa Boschwick. She's going to be leading the platoon, but really who's leading the platoon today is Heinrich Gross with his 2 bodyguards, and his special ability to allow a unit to go again.
These fools are trying to ruin everything for us.
Next up, we have 2 7-man squads of Nachtdalben. They're equipped with the Schmeiser SMGs with the +1 pen, and they have the ability to go on ambush after activating. Then we have 2 6-man Nachtjäger squads, and they're quite tough. If they get a surging die, they can get extra attacks and pen, and then they have the ability to essentially fight first and negate a defensive bonus. And that rounds out the 1st Assault Platoon. So moving over to the Walker Platoon here, we have a Nachtdalben squad as the Specialist or Advanced Infantry, equipped with the same Schmeiser SMGs and the ability to go on ambush. Last but not least, we have the Command Vehicle, which is a Panzer IV Walker. It's equipped with a Schwerfield projector. And with the Army overview out of the way, that's Rev's list that he's going to be playing today. Alright, with Rev's list out of the way, we're taking a look at the battlefield here. Any of the rocks and structures are going to provide mostly hard cover, some of the bushes and some of the smaller terrain pieces providing soft cover, but most of the terrain piece here providing hard cover. So we kind of came up with our own mission where essentially this rift piece of technology is in the center. The Germans have built it, and they're trying to protect it. The US are coming in, they're trying to destroy it. So the Axis are actually going to be set up in a 12-inch bubble around this rift device here, you could see. And the US are going to have a preparatory bombardment, and they're going to deploy on a particular table corner or side. And essentially the way it's going to work is the 6 game turns, possibly 7. Whoever controls the central objective at the end of the game gets a certain amount of points, and then we're also playing kill points, so whoever can kill units will gain additional points as well, based off how many order die they get.
You see, Vanessa, my master plan has come true. With this new rift machine, we shall be able to harness the rift energy unlike ever before. We just need to keep these American dogs away from us. We must stop them at all costs. If the process is complete, we shall be unstoppable. I expect nothing but greatness from you, Vanessa.
Alright, now moving on over to the first wave here that I'm going to be deploying on the board. We're going to be moving on to the board, starting off with turn 1. So I have my basic infantry, Roberta Wells, my 6 Paragon, the Sherman tank, as well as the Grizzly Walker.
Get ready, men. It's going to be a hell of a fight.
Now, in reserves, that's going to be jumping down using their jump ability. I have all of my Fireflies, including my platoon commander, as well as the 2 Jackals.
Don't worry, Miss Wells. We'll be jumping down whenever you're ready. Just give us the call.
And moving on to the infiltrators here, Rev has his units deployed in a 12-inch bubble, including the Panzer. The rest of the units, the Nacht Alban, have the ability to infiltrate, and some of them are infiltrated outside of the 12-inch bubble of the center here. So with the infiltrators and the deployment out of the way, let's move over to the preparatory bombardment. The US know that the Axis are defending this position, and they're sending in some P-52 Mustangs, or whatever the conflict equivalent is, to light up the area. Before any units come on, we are going to be rolling for a preparatory bombardment, and it does go off here. You can see almost every unit getting about 2 pins. So there's a pretty effective airstrike, it looks like.
Send the reinforcements! We're getting hammered out here!
Alright, with the preparatory bombardment out of the way, and most of the units pretty heavily pinned even before the start of the game, we're going to start off with the start of turn 1. So one thing to note is me and Rev both have units that are in reserves, so we will be going down with most of those units, and I'm going down with some of my units. And then the Axis are up here, and Rev is trying to rally here to get some of the pins off of his Nacht Alban. So the Grizzly Walker has advanced on the board here, and fired, but unfortunately missed, needing a 5. And now Roberta Wells running onto the board here and going to be using her guts to put the Grizzlies' dice back in the bag to hopefully shoot again with a fire order and hit on a 4. Speaking of which, pulling the dice back out of the bag for the Grizzly Walker, and it's going to get a fire order and sit still and fire at the Panzer.
Panzer 4 in our sights. Fire!
Needing a 4 to hit, but unfortunately misses. So then we have the Sherman now has driven onto the board here, and it's going to take its medium anti-tank cannon and fire it at the Panzer Walker as well.
Sherman here. Get ready to fire, boys. Panzer 4 Walker. Dead end.
Needing a 5 to hit. Getting a hit here and a side profile shot, and getting a full damage roll here, with the result of a 2 leading to steering compromise. And after firing its SMGs at the Nacht Alban, just leading to an extra pin. But the Panzer IV is now mobilized with 2 extra pins. So now the 12-man regular American infantry team has advanced on the board here. They have 24-inch range with their rifles, and they're going to fire at the Nacht Alban squad in front of them, needing 5s. And then needing 5s as well after not having any pen, with the Nacht Alban being damage 5. Managing to take one of them out, being that they don't have cover, as well as getting an additional pin. So now the Panzer IV is up, and it's going to rally here. It's immobilized with 4 pins, Luckily, rolling a 3, it does manage to get rid of its pins and rally. And Rev is also rallying with his Nachtolben squad closest to the walkers here, successfully managing to get rid of the pins. And as you can see, Rev doing the wise thing when you have 2 to 3 pins on your units, just rallying, being that they're not really in too much danger. Unfortunately, the last unit of Nachtolben closest to the infantry squad fails its order test and goes down. So now the 6-man Paragon squad has just advanced on the board here. They do have fast.
There they are! Demons! Let's gut them down!
Generate a point of guts using their ability, and they're going to fire their assault rifles with 18-inch range at the Nachtolben. Needing 5s to hit here. And even with some cover from the rock there, Rev loses one in the Nachtolben. Then using their point of guts to put their dice back in the bag. After pulling their dice out of the bag, I immediately activate them again, advancing forward with 8 inches, getting within point blank range and firing their assault rifles as well as their Tesla. 6-inch range, 3-shot plus 1 pen profile.
These bastards are tough. Hit them again! Fire!
They're hitting on 2s here with all their guns. After firing the heavy Tesla rifle and the assault rifles in point blank range, they managed to wipe the Nachtolben squad. That's the end of turn 1. A lot of units are off the board in reserve here, and we're going to be moving on to the start of turn 2. So start at turn 2 here, just getting a look at the board state. And the US are going to be up first, with the Sherman now getting a fire order, attempting to take out the Panzer. Needing a 4 to hit. And after firing at the Nachtolben with the hull-mounted MMG, only leading to a pin. So now the Grizzly Walker taking its medium anti-tank cannon here and firing at the Panzer. It successfully hits, successfully penetrates the armor with the damage roll, but only leading to a stunned. But it does force the Panzer to go down with additional pins. So now the Nachtolben are up. They're going to be advancing forward with their fast movement, getting within point blank range, and they're going to fire with their Schmeiser SMGs.
Get ready! They're coming! We're caught out in the open!
2 shots plus 1 pen, hitting on 2s with assault. They're going to be shooting at the Paragons. And with that many SMG shots with pen, even with damage value 6 Paragons, the Paragons get wiped. And using the Rift ability here, expending a die, going on ambush after activating. Nachtolben are quite deadly, as you can see, especially with their loadout. So now Roberta Wells is activating here. She's going to be running forward here and using her Rift ability, being within 12 inches of the Nachtolben, switching their Rift die to inactive. That way they don't get the chance to go on ambush this turn.
Commander, I've dealt with the Nachtolben squad. Now take them out.
So the Nachtolben that Roberta Wells just stole their Rift die from, essentially, having to pass an order test, they successfully do, taking a pin away, and they're going to advance now, actually charging into the Walker here. They do have the upgraded SMGs, getting plus 1 pen, and trying to take down the Walker, which can be quite tricky, as the Walker does get free leg and arm attacks as they charge it.
Bring it on, you bastards!
And with the arm attacks having plus 4 pen, managing to take out 2 of the Nachtolben. Though they do get 6 successful hits here with plus 1 pen and adding the pen together, unfortunately only getting the damage roll of a 1, leading to the Walker being stunned. And even though it's down, the walker still gets to fight here the second round of combat now. It needs to roll to hit as well as damage this time. And after rolling their attacks here, and another successful damage roll here, but only leading to stunned.
This is Grizzly Walker, calling for backup.
After being surrounded by Noctalban, a 6-man squad of Fireflies are jumping on the board here within point-blank range. They're going to be firing at the Noctalban.
Our boy needs some help. Open fire.
Surprisingly, though, only managing to take a few of them out. But now with the squad dwindled down and the ongoing combat happening, the walker easily clears up the Noctalban squad with his arm.
Yeah. How's that Detroit steel taste?
So jumping down onto the board here, managing to stay an inch away from all of my units somehow, Rev has a 6-man squad of Noctjager here. And as you can see, he's done this in previous games using the Noctjagers and Heinrich Gross. Heinrich Gross has run onto the board now, using his Rift Mastery here to convert a die to Surging, then using another Rift die here to give the Surging die to the Noctjager, giving them extra attacks, extra pen, and I believe even making them stronger. And then after giving the die to the Noctjager, he's using a point of guts here, and he's going to put the Noctjager's dice back in the bag. And fearing a charge from the Noctjager here after they've just grown stronger from the powers of the Rift, a 6-man squad of Firefly are jumping on the board here, and within point blank range, firing their 2-shot profile plus 1 pen, looking for 2s to hit here. For 5s on the damage roll here, they managed to take out 5 of the Noctjagers in point blank range, only leaving 1 of the Noctjagers left. So now one of the Jackal light walkers here has jumped down within point blank range of Heinrich Gross, and it's going to be firing its 6 shots on its arm mounted MMG and its flamethrower as well. And of course, on the first time shooting it, I forgot that it should have 6 shots instead of 3. Now faring pretty well with the flamethrower here, getting 2 successful damage rolls, taking out the bodyguards with the advanced body armor. Unfortunately though, running out of flamethrower ammo on its flamethrower check. So now the Firefly platoon commander has jumped on the board as well, backing up his boys here. He's going to be shooting his ATRD in point blank range at the Noctjager. And with the damage roll of a 6, successfully managing to take out the last of the Noctjagers. But just as they do, another 6-man squad of Noctjager jump down onto the board in a really cool way on top of that rock, and I'm really happy Rev did that. And now Vanessa Boschwick is running onto the board here, and she does have a point of Rift Mastery, so she's going to use her free Rift die and the paid for Rift die, use her Rift Mastery, and give a Surging die to the Noctjager. After seeing another squad of Noctjager just get refueled and refreshed, a second Jackal jump walker here, jumping onto the board, and it's going to be firing its MMGs and flamethrowers at the Noctjager. Getting 2 flamethrower shots here. Not managing to take any out, luckily not running out of flamethrower ammo. Now the 12-man infantry squad has advanced forward, moving 6 inches, and they're going to take some shots at the Noctalban right in front of them. We're looking for 5s to hit here. Unfortunately, no successful damage rolls though. And Roberta Wells choosing to go down and hiding in the bushes, hoping the Noctjagers don't find her. And with that, that is the end of turn 2 here. Both the US and the Axis have all the reinforcements on the field, so now it's a matter of the two armies duking it out. We'll see what happens here, moving on to turn 3. So start of turn 3 here, pulling the dice out of the bag and seeing who's going to be going up first. And the Americans are up first. This time a Firefly squad is going to be activating. They're going to advance forward. They have 12-inch movement with flight, and getting within 6 inches here, they're going to fire at the Knockjagers in front of them.
Knockjager squad, 12 o'clock. Get ready to tear him up.
Looking for 2s to hit here with assault. With only +1 pen though, only managing to take out one of the Knockjagers.
Now, my pretties, now's the time. Tear them to shreds.
Vanessa Boschwick is snapping 2 here, and she's going to advance forward as well as activate the Knockjagers, choosing to run forward and charge into the Firefly squad. The Knockjagers activating their ability to be able to fight first before the Fireflies get to fight. And having a surging bonus with extra attacks and pen, they easily wipe the whole Firefly squad. And getting a consolidation move forward. Now Vanessa has snapped 2. She hops up on the rock here, getting a clear line of sight on the Sherman, and she's going to be firing her Panzerfaust at it, being within 12 inches. Needing a 5 to hit, but getting a 3. So now Heinrich Ross is charging through his Knockjagers into Roberta Wells. He's very upset that she has ruined his plans to try and successfully start up this rift generator. Roberta Wells doing good though, managed a successful damage roll, but we have to both use our point of luck here to stay alive. And unfortunately on the second round of combat, Heinrich Gross finds his mark and takes out the scientific advisor, Roberta Wells. So choosing to snap 2 here, following Rev's lead, choosing to snap 2, I'm going to use my Firefly platoon commander and my Fireflies here. Starting off with the platoon commander, he's advancing forward and he's going to fire his Thompson with the 2-shot +1 pen profile at Heinrich Gross.
Let's finish this. Die, you Axis scum.
Looking for 2s to hit here. Fortunately failing on the damage roll. So now the 6-man squad of Fireflies has advanced forward, 12-inch movement, taking the Thompsons with the 2 shots +1 pen and firing at the Knockjagers in front of them. Again looking for 2s due to assault. With +1 pen looking for 5s to kill here, they managed to take out quite a few of the Knockjagers. So the Panzer IV Walker is up now, and it's looking to fire. It's going to need to pass an order test here. It successfully does, even with its pins taking a pin away, and it's going to be firing at the Sherman tank. Now it's going to be activating its Rift Eye ability here, with the gravity weapon, getting a template on top here, managing to hit not only the Sherman, but the Jackal. And leading to the Sherman going down with a stunned result. And the Jackal, though, being quite lucky and managing to get away scot-free. Nochtolben getting an inactive dice out of the bag. Now the Grizzly Walker is going to be activating and needs to pass an order test here. Luckily the platoon commander's nearby. It being a command vehicle itself. It's going to do one of the best things you can do in Conflict with a Walker, and that's essentially advance through enemy units. Advancing through the 1 Knockjager and Heinrich Gross, getting arm and leg attacks along the way, as well as then shooting its anti-tank at the Panzer.
Grizzly Walker moving forward. Yarr! Take this, you Axis scum!
The Knockdigger getting away scot-free, but Heinrich Gross, on the other hand, getting absolutely obliterated by the arms with one of the damage rolls, crushing him to pieces. And now, having clear line of sight, firing at the Panzer here, looking for a 5 to hit after moving. And a 6 on the damage roll with a 6 plus pen. It's going to be 12 pen here. 2 over, so 2 damage rolls. But again, leading to the result of a stunned. And this time also the result of on fire. Now, I just realized it was stunned previously, so it might have been taken out from being stunned twice, even though it was different damage charts. Either way, though, they fail the morale check, and the crew abandons the advanced Panzer Walker as it catches on fire.
Get out! Every man for himself!
So now one of the Jackal jump walkers here is advancing forward, needs to pass an order test first, which it just does, being a regular troop here looking for a 9. Taking its pin away, it's going to advance forward here, getting clear line of sight on Vanessa Boschwick. It's going to be firing its MMGs at her. Missing with the flamethrower, but fortunately not running out of ammo. And actually remembering the 6 arm shots, managing to take out Vanessa Boschwick with the MMG. And now the other Jackal here is trying to activate and needs to pass its order test. It's actually going to run this time. Unfortunately though, with the result of 11, it goes down. So now the US infantry are activating here, and they are going to stand still and fire, being within 24 inches with their rifles. Looking for 4s to hit, and 5s to damage on the Knockdolben. Unfortunately, the old M1 Garands have a hard time dealing with the advanced Axis infantry. So the lone Knockjager now is activating here. Doesn't have an active Rift Dice to use its ability to fight first, because he wants to keep his surging bonus, but because of that bonus, it easily takes out the Firefly officer. Now, after passing an order test and getting rid of a pin, the Knockdolben squad are advancing forward here, some of them being within point blank range, and some not. They're going to be firing at the US infantry, starting off with the ones outside of point blank range.
The demons are coming! Take cover!
And then firing the ones within point blank range, looking for 2s. And they successfully managed to take out a huge chunk of the infantry squad here, just leaving 4. And they're going to have to take a morale test here. But being regular, which they successfully just passed their morale check. And with that, that is the end of turn 3 here. The US forces have cleaned up quite a lot of Axis, as well as the Axis commander, Heinrich Gross. We'll see if the Axis can hold the US forces back, and who will secure the center. That's the end of turn 3, moving on to the start of turn 4. The start of turn 4 here, we're going to see who pulls the dice out of the bag first. Again, the US forces have closed in on a lot of the Axis, using their jump capabilities to wipe out quite a lot of squads. Speaking of which, the Fireflies are now activating. They're leaving that one Knockjager, coming to back up their boys, their regular infantry squad. They're going to be firing their Thompsons, not being within point blank range though. So they're looking for 4s. And with a failed cover save from the Rock, Rev losing one of the Knockdolben. Now the Jackal is activating here. He's going to run as a ego check, trying to take out the surging Knockjager. Unfortunately for the Knockjager, the Walkers do get to fight first, as that's how Walker combat works.
Die, demon!
And the Jackal successfully takes out the Knockdagger, even though he falls over in the process. He'll be fine. So the American Infantry Squad, after passing their order test, because they did have a pin, they're going to advance forward here, getting within point-blank range, and they're going to fire their rifles at the Knockdalben Squad, looking for 3s to hit. Getting 2 hits and looking for 5s. You would think being a couple feet away, they could at least take one of them out with an M1 Garand. Now the Sherman is activating. It's going to rally here, being that it has 3 pins, which it successfully does. And the Knockdalben Squad here, Rev needs to activate them. He only has so many units. He's going to try to advance here, being that they're veteran. He successfully does. And he's going to advance forward here, getting within point-blank range with his +1 pen, 2 attack Schmeiser SMGs, firing at the Firefly Squad. Looking for 3s to hit here because he's pinned. Unfortunately, even with the +1 pen, only managing to take out 3 out of the 6 Fireflies. Now a Jackal is activating here and needs to pass this order test, which it failed miserably last turn. This time it passes successfully, taking a pin away, and it's going to run, trying to close the gap on the Knockdalben Squad in front of it. And that is the end of turn 4 here. It's a fast one. Rev looking to activate after going on ambush with the Knockdalben as usual, looking for a 4 here. Unfortunately, it doesn't go off. And we're moving on to the start of turn 5. Start of turn 5 here, the 3-man Firefly Squad that got whittled down last turn is going to take a fire order, shooting all of its Thompsons here at the Knockdalben Squad.
It's time to clean up the trash, boys. Gun them down!
Looking for 2s to hit. After getting 5 hits here, and 4 5s, even the 4 manages to take them out. They managed to take out all but one of the Knockdalben Squad. But after having 3 pins and rolling a 7, a result of 10, the last remaining Knockdalben flees off the board.
This is not the last of us you will see. You will feel the wrath of the Axis soon.
And with that, the US forces have successfully taken over this Rift device. Stealing it from Heinrich Ross, they're going to be able to research it for their own capabilities, helping further their advance in Rift technology back stateside.
What the hell is this thing? I don't know, Private, but all I know is something tells me HQ's going to be pretty interested in this one.
Alright, and that's the end of the game here. US forces holding the center, managing to wipe out the Axis, and managing to rack up quite a lot of kill points in the same process. Well, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Rev for coming and playing a game as always, and shout out to you folks for hanging out and watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the battle report as always, and thank you so much to our channel members and Twitch subs, as well as everyone who's new here or longtime viewer of the channel. You're the reason why we make these battle reports, and we couldn't do without you folks. Alright, my name is Mike from Mike Rolls Dice. We have a massive 3,000 point Apocalypse Firefly platoon and entire mech army versus the Axis with this Knockdalben and Heinrich Ross army and the new Totenrot platoon box. So it's going to be a massive game. That one's going to be, it's going to take a little while to edit, but look forward to that one probably at some point next week. We have some one-page rules games filmed as well. Well, my name is Mike from Mike Rolls Dice. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully you're having a great start to your summer officially. Well, thanks again so much for watching. And until the next battle report, keep rolling high on those dice.